tonight is Jess.
Welcome everyone to Films with the Women in My Life.
Oh, very special, very large, grand opening for Five Nights at Freddy's. We're a little late. It's after Halloween. We were busy, but we got there to Five Nights at Freddy's. This is based on a video game. Do you know this video game? Have you ever played this before?
No, I didn't even know it was based off of a video game.
Okay, till just now?
Yeah, until just
now. Oh, not
now.
again. People, I don't think people listening believe that. Like, there's no way people listening be like, there's no way she just shows up to the show not knowing.
Wait, so
it
on, like, Sega or something?
No, okay, so actually, it's a very straight, it's like a new, like, indie horror game. It's on, I think they have it on, like, systems now. I know they have it on, like, Windows and PlayStation and Xbox and stuff now, but I think originally it was, like, a very small, like, indie computer game.
I was thinking it was an OG video game. Because the characters look like OG characters.
Yeah, I mean, they're the animatronic, like, Chuck E. Cheese, what's the other one?
Exactly, yeah.
Showbiz Pizza Bear. It's the classic look. But this is what's going on in Five Nights at Freddy's. A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. While spending the first night on the job, he realizes the late shift at Freddy's won't be so easy to make it through. It's got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 88% with the audience, so big difference there. 5.5 on IMDb. Big difference. So maybe this is something for fans and not for critics. I guess we're going to find out in a few seconds. If you haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's, it's in theaters right now, but it's also streaming on Peacock. It's one of those rare double choice ones. And I think, Jess, you saw this in theater, and then I saw this at home.
I did.
Maybe. Well, we'll see if there was any sort of different experience from that. But those are the two options for viewing it. And we are going to spoil it here now. And so it's a kind of a long and convoluted plot once it gets going. But the basis is it's this guy, he's a down on his luck kind of guy, security guard, hopping from job to job. He's got a past that we learn about very quickly, where he was his younger brother was kidnapped when he was young, and he feels responsible. His parents also died. It's very tragic. He takes care of his younger sister, kinda barely. Their mean aunt wants to. Kinda barely. The mean aunt wants to come and take them. It not really clear why. Just because she's the mean aunt in the movie. So mean aunt's gonna come take the kid, unless he goes and does this one last job, one last chance to keep his sister, and that's working a night job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. He's a security guard there, and he learns about the things there, the creatures there, these animatronic, like we said earlier, Chuck E. Cheese-like creatures, and they got secrets in them. They got bad stuff going on, and there's a cop, there's a crazy guy who's also in it earlier as something else. I don't know if we get into spoilers, but Jess, what'd you think of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Five Nights at Freddy's. Was it really 5 nights? I feel like it was only like 2 or 3. I
think it's because the first night he just slept in the chair, and then he had the dream with the kids that ran around in the woods, and then he woke up, and that was the first whole night. So I would say nothing really happens to the second night.
Because you think 5 would be significant in the movie, because it specifically said like Five Nights at Freddy's, not just like Nights at Freddy's or something. It was specifically 5, but no, 5 has nothing to do with it.
I think it's just because the video game is called Five Nights at Freddy's, and in that game, again, I've never played the video game, but I'm sure in that, like, it's probably like level 1 is like it's kind of like an easy first night, and then it gets harder. I don't know, but I've never played the games.
I see. So what do I think about it? I think this was the Halloween movie in theaters, which I'm a little disappointed at, because I think I know because I've seen them. There's been better horror movies between August and September.
That's
Maybe
true.
even like July, August, September. So why was this the number one, like, Halloween movie? Because even looking at the Regals app, like, there was one day where there was like 20 showings of this movie.
I know.
Like,
ridiculous.
And I'm just like, you had so many better horror movies to show during Halloween. Like, why was this the Halloween horror movie? I don't understand that. So I think that kind of gives it away. I feel like this to me was a one and done kind of movie. I watched it through. I thought of you, Brennan, because I'm like, Brennan's going to say there's a lot of holes in this, because there were a lot of holes.
Are there?
Lot of things.
Does anything make sense in this movie?
A lot of things don't make sense, but like I liked I did like, what is it? The characters or the Freddys. I don't know.
The
I
animatronics.
like the animatronics. Like, I liked the characters. I liked watching them move. I like them beating up the humans. Like, that was probably the best part. And then everything else, again, I'll watch it once and forget about it, and that's it. So that's my thought.
Yeah. I was mostly baffled and confused at like everything. I like it was almost so bad it's good, but it was too boring to be so bad it's good because okay, like throughout the movie, like at first he goes in and he's freaked out by the thing, but first he goes in, nothing happens. Second night he goes in, he's freaked out by the things, and then the things kill a bunch of people in the middle because nothing has happened in the movie so far. We've had 30 minutes and like literally nothing but the first 30 seconds where the guy gets his face mutilated. Like nothing has happened. So we gotta have a fight scene or kill scene or whatever. And then after that, it just gets weird. Like it's just, I don't know the story of the video games, and I think that would help a lot because by the third night, the animatronics, everyone's accepted. Yeah, they're just ghost children, and they're gonna help us clean the store up on the third night with the cop friend, and we're gonna dance to their. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? Why is this a horror movie? Why are they befriending the ghosts and cleaning the restaurant in the middle of the? I'm so confused, and there's so much of this one dream where he's in the park and he chases his brother, and the kids are running around, and I get it. The kids are the souls, and they're in the thing, and they're not just the souls; they're actually in the thing, and I'm like, this is too much crap in this. Like, I don't like to be that person, but this is something I don't care about, so I'm fine with saying it. Make it a miniseries.
That was the biggest rule that I didn't get. Like, how did his whatever superpowers or visions of his dream get stronger when he was at the arcade place?
I think it must be because when we get to the twist ending, his brother's disappearance, it's the guy, it's the big bad guy. He's responsible for
it is the guy, but there's still like no reason why being in close proximity to the guy like makes the dream stronger.
Yeah, they don't explain any of the supernaturalness because like the kids they just kind of accept like, oh yeah, they're ghosts and they live in the machine, but like they are also in the machine. Like the dead rotting bodies of children from like 40 years ago are in there still, and it's just but it's not scary, it's confusing. And
they have a mind of their own, yet they can get manipulated by like the what's the guy's name?
The main bad guy,
the
Shaggy.
Antagonist. It was actually pretty funny. Like, we were watching the scene where in the office where it was the main character and Shaggy talking, and then Kyle goes, "That's Shaggy," and then the camera switched. It was the main character. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then it went back to the other guy, and I'm like, "Oh, that is Shaggy."
Matthew Lillard, I'd always love to see him, but he pops up everywhere now and then. He's always good for. I
feel like he just needs another paycheck, so he just does something little and then probably lives off his minimalist life.
That's very positive. I mean, think of those Scooby-Doo movies. Like, I mean, that's the same kind of thing as this. It's
exactly.
Like kids, stupid, teeny, but like whatever. Like, just do a silly thing. I think he's actually like not bad in this. But okay, there's a bunch of twists here. Like, the first twist, obviously, is like there's this cop who's like completely out of place in this movie, and doesn't make any sense.
She makes no sense. Like, her first scene when we see the cop and we see, okay, she's the pretty girl. She's extremely nice, really inviting, and we're like, okay, what's the catch? Like,
exactly.
We're convinced she was the bad guy because she just came off as so nice and inviting, and that's usually the character that turns.
Yeah, and I think that's supposed to be like the red herring, and then it's like, oh, but actually it's my father. But like, that's stupid and like, oh my god, you're really gonna make there's no people in this town. You're gonna make the one cop, and she comes in and she's like, gets friendly with him, and then the bad guy, we're in spoilers, the twist reveal is the bad guy was the guidance counselor or whatever the hell, like, and that's her father. It's just too much like convenience. I don't
think it was ridiculous. Much of a twist because you knew that he owned the place. Because when he offered him the job, he did say, "Oh, I own this place," or like, "I couldn't keep the last person there." So I knew he was gonna come back around. So I actually I forgot if I actually put together that she was the dad, but I knew there was a connection somewhere because I knew he was going to come back around and he was responsible for it, and that's why he wanted him to work there.
I picked it up when he said it's when he's going through the papers. He's like, you fucked up here, like everything, like you just can't do anything right, Mike Schmidt.
And he said, yes, like, I caught on that too. When he learned his last name was SH something, I was like, I held on to that because I did pick that up.
That's what, and I was like, this better pay off, like, because I knew the score going in, so I'm like, this better not be like just like laziness for like, oh, they put that, oh, you're Mike Schmidt, oh, well, actually, I do have this one job for you, like they do that thing, so at least it comes back around in like the storytelling wise. It's just like I have to accept such a weird reality where it's ghosts and dreams, and the ghosts come in the dreams, and the kids are in machines, and the ghosts in the dreams, and Matthew Lillard comes back to life, and he's the father of the daughter of the cop of the place, and it's just too much. It's so much stuff that I'm like, I don't really think any of this actually would happen in any world. Like, I know it's ghosts, but like even in like a movie world, it just doesn't. I don't understand this structure. It's just told so strangely.
Yeah.
So, you got a favorite animatronic?
When I think of him, the blue one, I think just is in my head. Was he the main one, or was he just
the blue one? Oh no, he was. I would say the blue one is one of the like the lesser, like the bunny one. I think the main one's
bunny.
I think the main one's the Chica the Duck. I always remember that one because she's got the bib, and the main one's Freddy, the brown bear with the black hat. That's the main.
Oh, okay.
He's the main guy. And then the pirate one, there's the pirate one that's like a fox, and he's always off to the side.
Oh,
he's got a hook.
Yeah.
He's always, he seems to be the one, doing all this stuff. There's also one of them that's like, it's like a little like a little ball or something that like hangs out with the bunny. It's like a little ball. I can't remember what it looks like, but interesting character designs. I'm not really sure. That's the thing is like, Was anything scary? Were you scared ever? Like, did you even jump once?
I think maybe the part in the beginning where it shows the guy almost died because the machine almost like, it was kind of like Saw, actually. It gave me like Saw vibes. When the machine was like riveting really close to him. Or what is the clown in the background where the cop was like, don't go near that or don't touch that. And it was like a creepy clown.
And it had like the metal bars in its chest. That's when they were explaining like, yeah, it's not just their souls in there, it's their bodies too. I'm like, I cannot believe, like, it's easier for me to believe in ghosts than believe that like a child's rotting body was just in there for 40 years and like that's just like, I don't know. It's just strange things I have to accept here to in order to enjoy the thing. I will say, like, Josh Hutcherson, the main character guy, I think he does his best at like keeping you engaged. Because I was confused watching this, but I wasn't like so like angry. Like I wasn't miserable. It was like not the worst time,
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was a one-time watch. And it was great for that one time, but it will not be repeated.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to repeat it. I think this is going to be we set up the ending where it's like a little teaser. So the ending part, I mean, we've kind of structured our way through the middle. We find out that the cop daughter is the daughter, and she like. It's just her character's right doesn't make any sense. Like she turned like, just get out of here, go away. And like, oh, I have to save you. We can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know. I buy all that?
You forgot the whole story about the little sister. How she was lured by the dead children.
Yeah. She was, and doesn't the bunny get to go to the, or not the main bad guy goes to her house. The Shaggy dressed up in the suit, right, goes and retrieves her.
Oh, in the Uber.
Yeah, right? Yeah, in the Uber. It's something like, oh, they got weird costumes or whatever. I'm like, all right. Yeah, so then, what do we have? Vanessa Fiennes, I'm reading through my thing here.
No, but like, so the kids wanted to lure her in because the kids wanted her to be part of them, to be a dead animal too. Because they were influenced by Shaggy to do so.
because they were influenced by shit. It's like the first Scooby-Doo movie where they go to the island, and then the first live action one where they go to the island and then they brainwash all of them with the monsters. It's the same thing. It's the same plot.
It's basically exactly the same, yeah. You and your meddling kids and your pesky dog.
Exactly, and your pesky bear animatronics. You're right. They lure her back because they want her to be in there. They do the dream thing too, where it's like you can make the trade. Like you can stay. We'll let her go, and you stay, and you can stay with your brother and your parents forever. And then no, you cannot do that. That was a trap. But
yeah.
How do they defeat? How do they defeat this thing? Like he comes in, the bad guy. He takes his helmet off. I remember this.
No. It was the cop that said use this. What is it called? Like the electricity. Use this electricity torch.
Oh yeah, it was like they like zapped it.
Yeah, she was like the machines won't last against this electricity torch or whatever it was.
Is that how the game works? Like maybe in the video game, like you use an electricity torch as like your weapon to fight the thing. That's the thing we have to recognize. This is an 88 with the audience score, so clearly there's like probably Easter eggs in here. Maybe this is very true to the story of this game, and therefore like fans were able to follow it easily. And this were like, yeah, this all makes perfect sense to the game I like. Perhaps we just are not the audience for Five Nights at Freddy's, the game or the story.
So I don't get how the cop knows her dad was this kidnapper, but never turned him in.
I guess it's your dad. I don't know.
I guess.
Like, is that? I guess. I mean, she's a cop. Maybe she went into being a cop to help.
Well, I figured.
Protect,
yeah, she probably went to be a cop because she was influenced, as she knew the whole secret, and she feel like she probably has to do good in the world. One part I didn't understand is when he was going to defeat all the animatronics, the cop was like, "Oh, I can't go," and he was like, "Why?" And she's like, "I just can't do it." And then she shows up, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's like you gotta like, oh, I can't face
her character was so frustrating because she was never explicit. Like it's not even like he wouldn't believe her. Like he is the one that probably had the wildest thoughts. And she believed him. So it wasn't even like, I sound crazy. It was just like, I'm just going to not tell you anything because I just don't feel like it. And I just want to be difficult.
It does. Her character does like she is inconsistent. She doesn't make sense. She shows up. She wants to be in there. She wants to be all up in there. But then as soon as he starts doing anything, I mean, she knows this place is a haunted, horrible place with serial killer stuff. So why would she even act that way in the first place? If later on she's going to be like, no, get out of here, get your sister out of here, and then like I can't face it. It is all inconsistent, and none of it lines up with like does she want to help him or does she want to help the father? Because she doesn't seem to. And she's not consistently acting for either of them. It doesn't make any sense. But he believes anything though. Like when his sister says like, oh yeah, they're ghosts and they talk to me, duh. And he's like, oh, all right, I accept this. Well, do you think they could help me find my our dead brother in their dreams? Like he's all on board. Like immediately he's like, all right, I guess. I mean, he's freaked out by these things.
Well, I guess it's been haunting him his entire life. So if he gets anywhere closer to just a dream, I think he's just fully on board.
It's like that. It's like a much better movie we saw, the Talk to Me, where she's slowly influenced by the thing, and then slowly she starts listening to it.
One thing I also don't get is the sister. Her whole life has always seen like imaginary friends. So is it posing that these were actually the dead kids that she's been seeing this whole time, and only she could see them, or is it just a coincidence that she's just an imaginative kid and oh, look, now there's dead children that she's also friends with.
Oh, I kind of like that, actually. That's almost better if it's an implication that she sees dead kids outside of the Freddys, and that's why she's, like, able to tap into them. But they don't, you're right, they don't explore that at all.
Because even before she met them, like, I think he went back to her drawings, and he was like, oh, shit, you've been seeing these dead kids this whole time. Like, you drew them.
Yeah, and she draws his dreams too. Like she sees shit like beyond before even Freddy's.
Yeah,
and I think that
they didn't do a good job of linking the two of her powers versus the reality of the dead kids.
No, and that's another. It goes back to the powers of the things aren't explained, but like they don't make enough sense without They need something. They need something to make me understand. Because right now we've got dead kids in suits. They're ghosts walking into dreams. This girl can talk to the dead kids. The serial killer at the end, like he survives, I guess. Like that's something supernatural there. Like there's supernatural things going on here, but it's not explained, and they're not consistent supernatural things. They're all kinds of different random supernatural things.
Yeah,
it's
like I said, a lot of holes.
A lot of holes, couple plot holes. There's like a babysitter in this, like in like the first third. Yeah. And then we find out the babysitter's like a hitman for the mom, for like the aunt. What is that plot? What is that?
Yeah.
Why is this in here?
So I think the babysitter wanted to find dirt on the guy, so when they go to court, she has more reasons to take the kid and get the money from the state.
I know it's all a scam by this lady to scam the brother.
Oh God, her character was just terrible. Like. I'm not saying, like, she was a terrible person like she was. I mean, the acting and just the way they portrayed her was just, like, so 90s evil aunt. Like...
Yeah, it's the most stereotypical thing. Like, and it's like, do we need this? The story is already so... It already has so many moving parts. Why do we need the aunt, like, I guess otherwise our security guard would just leave Freddy's because I don't fuck this job. I don't need it. I guess we need something to keep him there, but... I wish it were not the aunt. I wish it were a different plot device. I wish it were a different plot device that made him keep, like, oh, you have to keep this job. Not because shitty aunt's coming after you, but because, I don't know, because she's sick.
Because you actually need to take care of your kid and you need an income.
No, the only reason you take care of your kid is so that someone else can't have your kid. It's not actually because you want to take care of your kid. Or you should take care of your kid. It's just so someone else can't. Because this movie doesn't quite... line up with logical reality. At the end, what happens? They turn on him. Vanessa attempts to stop William from proceeding with his plan, and he stabs her. And then before William could finish off Mike, Abby shows her drawing to the animatronics, and then that's when they turn on him. They shows the drawing, they turn on him. Mr. Cupcake bites off William's suit. A bunch of spring locks, start stabbing him, and then we just watch the animatronics drag him back, and the restaurant goes down. Someone does the girl go into like a coma? The cop or
I think she was in the hospital, and then they went to visit her.
Yeah. Okay. And then Mike continues. And then Mike continues to take care of Abby now. And then she's like, "Could we ever see them again?" And he's like, "Maybe someday." Wink at the camera. and then we, here comes Freddy Fazbear's Six Nights at Freddy's, the sequel. I don't know. What do you? Another 5 Nights at Freddy's? 5 more Nights at Freddy's? What are you gonna do?
I'm okay with Freddy. Just no more Nights at Freddy's.
I've had enough Nights at Freddy's. I think. I guess
5 is plenty.
But was 5 too much, or was it just the right amount? Do we
Honestly,
recommend?
I didn't even know it was 5. I thought it was more like 3. So
3.5 Nights at Freddy's and a Sunday afternoon cleaning up the chairs at Freddy's. Do you recommend it though? Do you recommend 5 Nights at Freddy's, Jess?
I don't. There's not one person I can think of that I would say you should watch this movie. Like I said, I wasn't terribly angry or bored watching it. Again, this is a one and done. Yeah. I had my time with it. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I wouldn't rewatch it and I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm not going to say I absolutely hated it.
I'm pretty close to where you are. I was not miserable watching this. I was confused, heavily confused. And I'm kind of glad I watched it in the terms of like, well, now, like, it's a moderate cultural thing. It made $220 million at the box office. That's not nothing, especially for a movie that's also streaming. Like, horror movies make money. Halloween weekend, kids are loving it. Yeah, the fans like it. But for me, for not a fan, it's just too damn confusing and not quite like so bad it's good to be like ever want to go back. So I wouldn't recommend this because I don't think anyone. I wouldn't care to see it again, and I don't know anyone in my circle who would. So. It's not terrible, but it's not worth anything. So it's 2 not recommends for 5 Nights at Freddy's. Just another bland little thing. Did you see the Exorcist movie? That got bad reviews too. And
no, I didn't see that.
That's not my jam. Like I I don't think I've seen. I don't know if I've even seen the original Exorcist all the way through. Exorcism movies, it doesn't do it for me. So I wasn't really that jazzed anyway.
I do love exorcism movies, but
I know you do.
Were just too bad. I was like, I'll wait till it's streaming and watch it.
I've heard everyone just say it was just like mega bland, mega bland is okay when you're streaming. You don't want to go to the theater for mega bland. You want spectacle at theater. So we got I think we got Priscilla coming up, the counterpart to Elvis. So we all loved Elvis last year, but did we love Priscilla? And then there's more Oscar stuff coming. I should have them my list in front of me, but I don't. It'll be busy all the way up through January. So if you have things to recommend to us, we'll probably get to them in the new year. But Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost, and you can email the show filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. All right, thank you for surviving Five Nights at Freddy's.
I survived 5 Nights at Freddy's.
We did it.
Yeah.
We survived. So next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.